attention. Senator Ron Johnson chaired that hearing. He joins me now. And Senator, good afternoon to you.
Well, Bill, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thank you. Merry Christmas as well. Three issues here. Number one on the election here. What did this hearing accomplish today on that?
Well, the goal of the hearing, contrary to what Senator Peters said, was to really try and resolve the suspicions around the election. We are in an unsustainable state of affairs in this country where you have large percentages of the American population starting in 2016. How many millions just simply would never accept the legitimacy of President Trump? And now fast forward, their guy wins. There are all kinds of legitimate concerns, irregularities that we need answers to. And the Democrats just want to sweep it under the rug. They called the hearing dangerous. No, I'm just trying to gather information, acknowledge that problem. And it is a serious problem when you don't have confidence, when such a high number of Americans don't have confidence in the legitimacy of the election. That's a problem we need to solve.
Okay, from your view,
the only way you solve it is with transparency and honest information.
From your view, did you get that done today, Senator?
I think we made some real progress. Most of the hearing was actually very civil. I think we had, Chris Krebs came. He was a Democrat witness, but I reached out to him. I actually wanted him as a witness myself. But he came, he talked. He's done some good work at CISA. But we also had attorneys for President Trump from Wisconsin, from Nevada. We had Ken Starr. These people had some good information to provide the committee for our legitimate oversight so that we can solve these problems and restore confidence in our electoral system.
So you mentioned Chris Krebs. He's the former director of cybersecurity. Here is one clip from his answer today about how November went down.
While elections are sometimes messy, this was a secure election. Of that, I have no doubt. The trick about elections is that, you're not so much trying to convince the winner they won, it's the loser that they lost, and you need willing participants on both sides.
So he said it was fair, he said it was secure. What do you say to that, Senator?
Well, first of all, he acknowledged that he's not talking about potential fraud. And we had witnesses from Nevada, 42,000 people voted twice, dead people voted, people from out of state. Jim Trupis talked about how our election laws in Wisconsin were just violated, and the Wisconsin Supreme Court didn't even really rule in the law. They just wanted to get rid of it and dismiss the case. So again, Chris Krebs, what he knows, what he looked at, so he hasn't seen any evidence that people hacked into our computer system. So it's secure from that standpoint. But again, he couldn't speak to these irregularities that might point to fraud.
Okay, again, on that point, will we ever get an answer on it, Senator?
Well, if people make the information available. It's one of the parts of our hearing is people that are pleading these cases, courts are ignoring the evidence, or they're just dismissing it for lack of standing. And that's what's so frustrating for people that are trying to provide evidence of fraud is they can't get it. They can't get their hands on voter logs. They can't have computer experts do a forensic on the machines. The information is being denied. There's not a transparent process. We've got to solve that. It has to be a transparent process so that everybody is satisfied with the result.
I think you get a lot of agreement on that. Come back to Senator Peters from Michigan. You accused him of lying multiple times. Talk about Russian disinformation. We played the clip. What was that all about between the two of you?
Well, again, he's talking like the hearing was all about Russian disinformation, and it's not. And the fact of the matter is that senior Democrats, including Senator Peters, constructed this false intelligence product, classified it, leaked to the press, accusing Senator Grassley and I, in our Hunter Biden investigation, of accepting and disseminating Russian disinformation. Nothing could have been further from the truth. In fact, it was Senator Peters that actually introduced Russian disinformation into our investigatory record. So here he is at a hearing that has nothing to do with Russian disinformation, talking about that like this is a hearing on Russian disinformation. And I just had to call him out on the fact that it is the Democrats, Hillary Clinton, the DNC paying for the Steele dossier, which was Russian disinformation, Senator Peters introducing it into our investigatory record. It's Democrats that have paid for and peddled it, and they're they accused President Trump for 4 years.
I got it. I got less than 2 minutes, and I got two more topics to get to. You mentioned Hunter Biden. What should happen there, given the revelation we got today about him sending a request to a Chinese firm for $10 million? It wasn't granted, but the request was made.
Well, we need a thorough investigation. And I guess I'll give the U.S. attorney from Delaware a shot. But I am concerned, based on the FBI's investigation of Hillary Clinton's email scandal, which we investigated, that was not an investigation to uncover the truth leading to prosecution conviction. It was an investigation designed to cover up the truth and exonerate Hillary Clinton. I need to be assured that that's not the case with this U.S. attorney in Delaware. And again, I don't know the man. I'm not accusing him of anything, but we need a thorough investigation. We need equal justice in this country, and that's something that certainly with the Comey FBI and parts of the Department of Justice under Obama, we did not have.
Quickly here on Eric Swalwell, I heard an interview you did in print talking about a long-term grooming of Chinese nationals working on people who work in Washington, D.C. How many in Washington do you think are compromised based on that?
Listen, I have no idea, but you could see what they did with Congressman Swalwell. Chinese are smart. They're long-term thinkers. They're very strategic. Do you think they only did it to this one young up-and-comer, groomed him for that position, helped him, raised money for him, raised him up and got him elected as a member of Congress? You think that's the only one they did it with? I doubt it. So I think we have to be very careful, and we've got to have our eyes wide open in terms of the threat that China poses.
I'm sorry. You're not putting a number on that, however, correct, Senator?
I have no idea. I just suspect that where there's one, there's probably more.
Hope you come back. Thank you for your time. Ron Johnson there with a lot to talk about on the Hill. Thank you, sir, for being here today.
Merry Christmas.
You bet. Merry Christmas to you. In a moment here, President-elect